Okay, this would be part one. I already did part two. Dodge 2500. It's a 2003 year, a 4x4. I'm doing the brake pads, the parking brake or emergency brake, the rear wheel seals, the bearings with the races in the hub. Pretty much doing taking out the whole rear axle here. Taking the whole rear axle apart actually. Putting new backing plates on. Trying to paint up everything, trying to keep the rust out. We're in Canada here. A lot of rust happens. It just happens every year. Something to do with the salt. Salt and water, air, sun. Bad. Okay. I get this wheel off. Probably don't have to show that. So I'm going to skip ahead to when I got the wheel off. Wheel off. Let's go. Alright. I want you guys to all appreciate how much rust we have in Canada here. This is Ontario, southern Ontario. The climate isn't even that bad. Not like what they get out in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, northern Alberta, stuff like that. Northern Ontario, it gets pretty cold too. But. So there you go, fellas. You want to see rust? So I'm gonna pull this apart. Maybe it'll take you long for that. It could be pretty fun with all the rust. But basically, the rotor's coming off. That's all coming apart. I got to get this axle out. These are stock calipers, stock brakes, brake caliper bracket. And unless somebody's changed them before, they have the Mopar Chrysler symbol in them. So, you know what? A little bit more light. Alright, we got some light. Those are a 12 metric, not a 13. You're going to want to give that ratchet a good hard smack, just so you can enjoy carpal tunnel later when you're about 65 or so, just as you're retiring. Always a good time. All right, fasteners look okay. Where are you, fella? I'm redoing the parking brake cables also. I'm gonna give them a replacement. Yeah, I mean I got new fasteners ready here, so those will go in the junk bin. Again, I don't want to really break this caliper too much, so I'm just gonna move it around a bit. Trying to find a spot where I can pry on. What you want to do, you want to collapse that piston a bit. So these brakes are pretty wore out. You'll see. Just a shale of rust. So for most of this truck, I've just been replacing with brand new parts. Started at the front. I'm pretty much at the back. And it's just getting to be too much. So I'm trying to not replace stuff that isn't broke. So I've gotten in behind the old pad here now. Just kind of squeezing that. Squeezing those pistons close. It's pulling us this way. If you don't, you could wreck stuff. It's not even that big really, but you know what, good practice and all that. Probably shouldn't do it. I'm probably putting all new brake lines on anyway, but again, I'm trying to save some money. It's almost impossible, these things. I'm doing this video. I don't normally do videos at all. I just fix my stuff. But I do use YouTube a lot. Help me figure out stuff when I can't figure it out myself. So, I mean, caliper looks good. Pistons are good. These are, you see? These are the slider pins with boots. You got to make sure that they're free. Look, this is beautiful. That's sliding beauty. Oh, this one's beauty too. All right, good. We don't have to worry about that. That's always one of my things that I hate. It takes it can take up to an hour to get these things freed up in here. And what happens is this. Can you even see? I don't even know if you can see. Ah, you can sort of see. I'll zoom in. So these bad boys here, they get stuck. This boot here gets cut, water gets in, rust to this. This thing's solid. Your brake pad wears on one side only because the caliper can only go that way. So you have a caliper that's right down in the middle on the bottom and full on the top. All right, let's see if these calipers are as bad as, or these pads are as bad as the other side. Okay, there. So well worn, not too bad. Here's your problem. That bad boy there's nothing left. So I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see, but top one has some meat on it. Bottom one, I mean, you got your money's worth, man. You got your money's worth on that one. Okay. Now these bad boys down in here, there's 2 bolts here. Don't even know the size right now, but I'm gonna see if 13/16 is the right one. Oh, that doesn't happen often, where I get it right the first time. Well, I got my snap-on Johnson bar here, and I've broken it once before. Now I was standing on it, so we're good. Tell you what, you people down in Florida, Georgia, Texas, you don't have a clue what this is like. Not saying you should, because I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Okay, I got loosened up to where I can get my other kind of ratchety thing majang on it. And you just spin those bad boys out of here. It ain't no thing. So this is disassembly, okay? Self-disassembling caliper bracket. Would you look at that? So I'm just make sure this is not broken, because the other side, not this piece, but the piece that this bolts onto, that was broken. And that's what this big hunk of metal here was attached to. I'm super confused as to. I don't think it's stock. You'll see, I say that a couple times already in the other video. It's not stock. It looks like a guard. It sits like that in front of the caliper bracket. It hooks right on, kind of in the back like that, something like that. Yeah. So it sits going forward looking like that, okay? Now, I think brush guard or rock guard, or it's pretty flimsy actually. But it attaches to this bracket that you can't really see. It's called the parking brake anchor bracket, and it bolts with 4 big lug studs to the axle itself. There's a little flange, 4-bolt flange on the axle. I mean, you're gonna see that later. So they put that down there. You give that a good old wire wheeling. You throw this in the garbage. Alright, that'll be good for now. Can't even turn this. Parking brake's locked up. That's always a good time. Last time somebody put the parking brake on, it's locked forward and it's all locked up in here. So, I'm gonna try to get that out. You know what? I'm gonna save that so I can show you. But for now, I gotta get going. I'll see you around. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, next day. Throw a little light on. We're gonna carry on where we left off. We gotta get the rotor off. Make sure, again, your parking brake's not on. Pretty sure mine isn't. I was gonna show you here, actually, before we get started, what I mean by the parking brake cable and all that. So on this side of things, you got your, is it a little bit too dark? I just gotta wait for it to focus maybe. There. So you can see there's a problem with this cable. It's supposed to be in there nice and solid, and it's kinda, let me see here. What can y'all see? Let me have a peek. Oopsie. So that's basically looking at it right from the back side. That goes in there, and this is your lever. Park brake cable pulls on that. But as we sit, this cable here is, if I leave that here, can you see? Yeah. It's pretty loosey-goosey, so I'm gonna have to fix all that. I'm probably just gonna pop the rotor off. All you gotta do is bang it from the back side. It'll probably be stuck on the old pads or the old shoes. So I'll get back to you when I got that rotor off. Alright. So I needed this thing to get it off. It's seized on there pretty good. You see by the pile of rust. That's what was all on it. Or inside it. And you can see here that this rotor is actually pretty much up. Yep. You can see this rotor is kind of round. It has a flat spot. Not sure what happened, but I'm gonna be getting a new rotor for that, for the driver's side. That's the problem. They're just, and they're flopping around. With a retainer clip here for the brake shoe. Should come apart already. Probably from me banging on it. These are probably seized in against the rotor drum. But we're gonna leave this as it is until we get this hub off. But first I'm gonna go look for a rotor and see if I can go pick one up right away. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back from ordering parts. So I just ordered all the parking brake cables. All these cables are just all the way to the front. So I can keep tearing this apart. As you can see, I'll bring it a little bit closer here. As you can see here, everything's just, you know, look at that, just rust. So this is just in there loose. See here, this, oh, can you see it? Focus. This pin here is supposed to be held in by this backing plate, but that's just, you know, it's come separated off. You know, this is not supposed to happen. We're gonna take all these 8 bolts out. Now they're held in with Loctite. They can be quite tough. Now it might not do too much leaking. When I did the other side, that other side there, it already leaked a lot of oil out. So this side might not have a lot. So what you want to do, you just want to come over here, just kind of pop it out. So I mean, I guess it did have a little bit of leakage, but it was quite a bit more when I did the other side. So that's your axle shaft. So now this will just spin, right? So this is only connected when you put those 8 bolts in. Those 8 bolts hold this hub to the center of the differential. Like this axle connects it all. Like I can't move this shaft yet because it's still into the splines on the axle, on the carrier, is it? I don't know. But so now this hub is free, so that you can kind of test your bearing. Now my bearing is good, but I'm replacing it anyway because this whole thing's coming apart to do seals. The seal's actually good also, but I bought a whole right and left kind of kit, so I'm doing everything. Whether this truck's got 413,000 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is, but it's a significant amount. So I'm assuming that this has never been done before. So anyway, to take the axle shaft out, let me back you up a bit so you get a bit of perspective. And you're not zoomed in. Okay, good. You just kind of grab this bad boy and start pulling. Now what you want to do, I'm going to go grab a rag because I want to wipe that down. Alright, I got a rag here just to put on the threads. I got these little Junker one-time user thing. They didn't come out with it. Now you might think that I'm getting close here. Am I going to make it? I don't know. I don't know yet. We're going to keep coming. It looks like I'm a little bit stuck. Let's see what I can do here. Alright. So all I did was lower the jack stand a little bit. As you can see, it's going to come out now. And she just comes out. Just like that. Of course, you check the end of the shaft for stripping. Sharp spots, looks pretty good. And this shaft is not keyed, eh? You don't have to put it back in a specific way, it just goes in. Alright, cover your shaft. Lean her up. Let's focus back on this. So anyway, I'll take you off again and show you what I gotta do next. So you just take this snap ring out. Again, I'll grab my little pliers. Here, you take that ring off. You get a little magnet tool. There, you take the keyway out. And the keyway just stops this nut from backing up, okay? And this nut's like a spanner nut. It's got all these little slots in it. And in part 2, I kind of explained more of this. I just made this. You don't need a special socket. You can rent them, but I just made the axle nut 3000 there, axle socket 3000. I just welded a piece on. But you see in part 2 I explain it as well. And I did the other side already, and it works. It holds the torque to 54 foot-pounds. You just take this out. It should be pretty easy. I mean, this whole thing's in oil, so there shouldn't really be any rust in there. If you got rust in there, you got more than one problem. And you just take that out, and all this nut does is it holds the outer bearing, it's a cone type bearing, in on the inner bearing. So it holds them tight together so that you got, you know, a strong setup. So you take this, you put it on the bench, you're going to clean it up later, and if you just give it a wiggle, she should fall pretty much right out. The bearing, I mean. And you just grab your little magnet tool, she'll come flying out. Look at that. And as I was trying to explain before, I was trying to show that I had a bit of wear in this bearing. Ah, I see. Okay. So I don't know how well you can see it, but maybe there's too much light. I don't know. In the center of the needles, of the rollers, you can see there's a bit of a burn spot. It's getting warm. It's gotten warm, and you know what? It's probably from just normal wear. It looks like a pretty good bearing. It probably would have lasted another couple 100,000 kilometers. This truck's got, I think I told you already, it's got 413,000 kilometers, not miles, kilometers. So I'm doing the whole job. Everything. Okay. So at the end here, what you want to do is just want to get a rag, shove her in your axle. We're going to be sanding and grinding and wire wheeling, so you don't want to get anything nasty in there. So you just got to grab this. You want to start wiggling it. Put your boot up, get her in there, start wiggling, and she comes off. You know, that one came off pretty easy. The other side was a little bit trickier. So what ends up leaking on these is this rear seal in here, okay? This rear seal leaks oil. Then it gets all in your parking brake, and you wreck your parking brake, and it's just a bad day. It's a really freaking bad day. You can start getting it on your brakes also, and then it starts smoking. Everybody screaming and yelling. Anyway, and it smells horrible. The gear oil is just disgusting. I don't know what they put in it or what makes it smell so bad. I just kind of want to clean it up. I'm going to do a lot better job than this yet, don't worry. In part 2, you'll see I have this whole backing plate and everything all new, ready to go. I'm not using any of this. This is all going in the garbage, right in the scrap. So normally, should I show undoing it all? I guess I should, eh? Okay. So normally you'd have to undo these pins back here and get these out. I'll just show you how to do it. Push down on these, and you twist, and these pins come out. Okay. Yeah. Now the other side here, it's already rotted out. This pin comes out. All right. And then you could undo the spring here. See if I can find my screws. Oh yes. This is your adjuster here. On the other side, this adjuster is on the bottom. They use the same part number, parts. They just flip them for the other side. Pretty slick, actually. I was pretty intrigued by that. So you can just grab it by the spring if you want and just get it undone. You know, sometimes with these projects, if you're not using the old parts, sometimes you just got to give it a good reefing to get her to come apart. So you take this all out. See, somebody here has done it bad. They put this white lithium grease in. This stuff dries out over time, and it's not bad, but it's not great. I use a synthetic, like a silicon grease that does not get chalky. See, this stuff's already starting to get chalky and waxy, and you know what? Overall, it's done its job. In the end, it's done its job. You can still adjust this bad boy. But so what you want to do is you want to keep this adjuster, okay? Just in case the parts you've ordered, I've ordered a whole new kit. Just in case the parts you've ordered either didn't come with it or came with the wrong size. I've heard on these Dodges that sometimes the star wheel's too big or this end piece is too small or too big and it doesn't fit in your brake. So then you want to take your parking chute and just take it out of its flat. Watch your eyes, get your safety squints on. These bad boys they come out. To be perfectly honest, it doesn't look too bad. You can tell where it was hanging up in the drum, in the what do you call it? A rotor drum, whatever. It when I was banging on it, probably chipped out. No problem. Okay, and as you can see, this is the parking brake lever. This is what kind of moves the shoes in and out. It's seized on there. That's not what you want to see. There we go. Again, same thing for this one. It looks all chewed up, but overall, there's still quite a bit of meat on them. There's nothing wrong except for the rust. That's what happens. Actually, the brakes last because nobody uses them. Because nobody uses them, they rust. Or because salt, they rust. Like, I don't know if you can actually appreciate how crappy this is right here. But everything here is just falling apart. So that's a good time. You can pull your park brake lever out. That's kind of what we got going on. Your parking brake cable goes onto this and pulls it. Okay. This is all getting cleaned up. Actually, this whole piece now gets to come off. And I will show you. Bear with me. Okay. So here's your backing plate deal. And here's your parking brake anchor or caliper holder. Caliper bracket holder. And it's held on to the axle here. Whoa, you can't see. Whoa. Where's my finger? Oh yeah. It's held on to the axle here with these 4 lug sort of nuts, studs. Alright, there's one over there, here, and on the other side. You undo these, you bang it out, and then I'll show you where to go from there. Okay. I can't remember what size they were. I think I just did that other side, huh? Alright, 15/16, fellas. Okay, I didn't want to put you all through the cracking these bolts loose and getting them all off. I got them all pretty much freed up back here. They're pretty good size. A 15/16 socket or wrench. These weren't as tight as the other side. A little bit of PB blaster though, it gets you a long way. Okay, alright, where'd my big hammer go? You just kind of want to tap it from the outside. Will it come? Alright, she's there. There we go. On the other side, and the other side it was cracked right through here. So I had to get new ones. That's all explained in part 2. But That just kind of bolts up to right here. So we're gonna get in here with the wire wheel, clean all this up, paint all this nice and black. You know, we're gonna get the hub all cleaned out, versoled, painted whatever color I got, because it's on the inside. I don't care. Just to keep it, you know, at least one winter without getting rusty. Yeah, one winter if I'm lucky. Yeah, you can see how bad she was getting back here. It's time for a new one. Wow, it's so bad. Anyway. Alright, I'm going to show you what I have to replace this. Okay. So what I got this right here. I got this bracket. It's from an '08. It's used. I painted it, got it all nice and shiny. Again, I had time. This is all explained in part 2. I've got brand new backing plates, and what I put on there is like a truck bed coating. So I've sanded it down, I put primer on it, and then I put that, it's not undercoating, it's truck bed liner. Box liner, I don't know. It's really tough stuff and it has a bit of a texture to it. And then I painted black over top of that, so she's gonna last maybe one winter without getting rusty. Again, I painted this all, I got all new hardware in here. All new hardware, I put all kinds of lube in there. Got that all nice and lubed up. So anyway, so I bought both of those backing brackets, or the anchor brackets, off of this fellow that had an '08 that was parting out. So I did that, I got rid of that side, and now I'm getting rid of that side as far as the anchor plate goes. But now, so this will just bolt right on, and I'll have parking brake and backing plate and anchor plate, or anchor bracket all set up ready to go.